Today on the show, we're going to be diving into the Agents of Sabotage DLC update for GTA Online and uncovering some of the hidden features and secret changes that Rockstar didn't mention in the patch notes. From subtle gameplay tweaks to unexpected quality of life improvements and updates, there's a lot more to this DLC than meets the eye, so definitely stick around to make sure you don't miss anything that could potentially change the way you play this game. So, jumping in, we do have returning rare and removed vehicles that have come back to in-game websites, and this is a very surprising move because Rockstar brought back 26 vehicles that were previously removed from the game with the San Andreas Mercenaries update in June of 2023, and I will showcase which ones they are and I'll list them on screen. And while this is definitely a win for the community overall, it's probably worth noting here as well that there's still over 160 cars missing to this day. This does feel like a small step in the right direction regardless though, but I do think it's a reminder of how much work that Rockstar has left to do to get us back to that point. I don't think we'll ever get there, but that said, the cars that they have brought back with this DLC are some of the more popular ones, and so it's a welcome change for collectors and car enthusiasts alike. Now that being said, I wonder if they're going to start to rotate these with each DLC and remove these 26 when we get the summer DLC and add back another 25 or 30 with the next DLC that are different than the ones we just saw this time, sort of like they're rotating adversary modes weekly, removing some, adding some back, etc, etc. That would be really interesting right there. Now next up for number 2, we do have nightclub nerfs and other nightclub updates. The nightclub VIP missions got an interesting change here with this DLC. Previously, if you entered your nightclub in passive mode, you'd only get the Troublemaker Kickout event to top up your club popularity. Quick, easy, and it's worth $10,000. Now there's basically a 50-50 chance you'll get the VIP Drunken Escort mission instead, and this mission used to be super annoying because you had to drive slow enough to avoid spooking the VIP, but now with this update, Rockstar also made it a lot more tolerable. Now you can just drive as fast as you want, and the distances are also reportedly shorter as well. Still, it is frustrating that you now have to disable passive mode and wait the 30 seconds to start either event. It's a mixed bag of improvements with the way that you can actually go about doing the missions that you didn't want to do before, but it's also inconvenient because you can't just do the quick bounce, get the guy out of the club, top up your popularity by 10% and be on your way. But at least the missions you're forced to do now are a little bit less tedious, so it's like a loss but also a winning aspect to that loss, if that makes sense. Now moving on to number 3, if you're into the new police vehicles or the older ones, here's something you're gonna love. Rockstar added more dispatch missions for players to complete. These missions, which you can access through your own police car, they offer a nice way to engage with the law enforcement theme of the DLC, plus completing them unlocks trade prices for some of the new vehicles, making them more affordable as well. And the missions themselves are a fun mix of tasks, and they do provide a bit of extra variety compared to the original dispatch missions, but I wouldn't say they're game-changing. Still, it is a nice addition that gives you more to do with your pricey new police cars, because some of the new ones we got, like the Cara, and I'm sure the upcoming Corvette one that's leaked, are going to be super expensive. Carrying on to number 4, another interesting kind of theme with the police cars, Rockstar added a surprisingly useful feature here in the Agents of Sabotage DLC that lets players toggle police car lights without the sirens. And this might seem like another small change, but it's actually a huge quality of life improvement. Anytime you wanted to use your lights in a police vehicle, whether you owned one or not, you had to endure the relentless wailing of sirens if you wanted the lights on during your gameplay. Whether you're doing your dispatch missions or just having fun with friends and things like that, imagine chasing someone around for 10 minutes with that noise blaring in your ears. It's completely maddening, right? So now you can have the flashing lights without all the auditory chaos and annoyance, making your gameplay much more immersive and honestly a lot more bearable. It's one of those subtle changes that makes you wonder, why didn't they do this sooner? And I guess now is the right time considering they're adding so many police vehicles. We'll probably get more with the next DLC. But now let's move on to number 5, and Rockstar, without making a big deal about it, they quietly increased the payouts for drag and drift races, and from what I've seen here, the boost is likely around 50%, which is pretty standard for their payout adjustments. While of course this change isn't going to make anyone rich overnight, it does make the races a bit more worthwhile if you haven't been doing them solely because of the payouts, and if you're someone who enjoys racing but always felt that the rewards didn't justify the effort you had to put in, this change just might encourage you to give these events another shot. Again, just want to reiterate here, it's not groundbreaking, but hey, more money is more money at the end of the day, and I will always take that. Now moving on to number 6, one of the best hidden features of this DLC is the massive expansion of the Imani Tech Missile Lock-On Jammer upgrade, and this upgrade in particular, previously limited to very select vehicles, is now available for 50 additional cars in the game, including many that were recently re-added to the game. So a lot of the ones we talked about at the beginning of today's video with the cars that were re-added back to in-game websites, they also came equipped with these features as well, and you can apply them. Now, the community has been asking for this feature on sports cars, sedans, and basically all other types of everyday vehicles for ages, and Rockstar has finally delivered with the Agents of Sabotage DLC. If you've ever been frustrated by griefers with missile launchers, this is a game-changing update. Just remember here, you will need access to an agency vehicle workshop to install that jammer still. That hasn't changed, but at least you can apply it to more vehicles. Now for number 7, Rockstar added some sneaky upgrades to the Terabyte that many players might not even realize are there. We did talk about these in my Everything New video from yesterday, or actually on Tuesday, December the 10th, but these include a collectible scanner, which is one upgrade that Rockstar did confirm was coming for the Terabyte, but they also added 3 others that they didn't disclose and that they were left for players to figure out on their own, like a silent running module, a missile lock-on jammer, and even the master control terminal. If you've already invested in a Terabyte, these additions make it even more versatile. However, there's a strange catch here. The prices for these upgrades seem to vary between players. I've heard some players report paying $500,000 for one, while others have seen costs as high as $1.25 million. If you're confused, you're not alone. It might have something to do with whether or not you own a master control terminal normally. I own one, but Rockstar hasn't clarified specifically what's causing this discrepancy. Either way, just so you can compare, these upgrades are worth checking out, and for me, the master control terminal upgrade for the Terabyte was $1,250,000. The missile lock-on jammer was $425,000. The silent running upgrade was $425,000 as well for me, and then the collectible scanner was a whopping $1,290,000. So quite a hefty upgrade. I also don't know why I bought it, because you could just use the GTA web map to get your collectibles, but I figured I should just buy it for the video anyway. Nonetheless, moving on to number 8, the new Garment Factory property obviously was added to the game, but it's packed with a bunch of hidden features that you may not know about. Not only does it include a passive income safe that's going to generate, honestly, kind of an abysmal amount of money. It's about $1,600 to $3,200 per in-game day, but it also comes with a 10-car garage and a dedicated space for your Terabyte in the garage. And you'll also find a weapon workshop and tools for running heists remotely through a computer or, of course, your phone app, which was a really cool change. And there's even a strange door in this property that lets you fast travel to various locations across the map. While the fast travel locations aren't exactly groundbreaking and they're not like the most convenient, they're sort of just spread along the outskirts, the overall utility of this property still makes it a very worthwhile investment for players looking to expand their operations. And honestly, at only $2,350,000 for this business, you get offered a really good amount of value for its cost. It's cheaper than many businesses in the game, unless you shove all your locations up at Paleto Bay or always opt for the cheapest locations, but also the money-making potential with this business is actually pretty good for how fast and easy it is to complete these mini heists compared to other content in the game and the payouts they offer. Now for number 9, this DLC also brought over 100 new clothing items and the 1 new hairstyle for both male and female characters. Rockstar didn't really hype this up much, nor do they ever really, but if you're someone who loves customizing your character, there's a lot to explore here. These new items include a mix of casual and tactical styles, and they're going to give players just more options in general to match their outfits with the theme of this Agents of Sabotage DLC. Again, not a game changer, cosmetics never really have been, but it's always nice to see the wardrobe expand with each new DLC they add to GTA Online, especially coming up on 11.5 years later. Now, as expected, for number 10, the DLC brought us some new vehicles, but the selection is a mixed bag, so let's just talk about the existing ones first. The Bravado Banshee GTS, definitely the standout. It's fast, stylish, and just feels great to drive. Then there's also the Dinka Kavos V6, which has an amusing typo calling it the Karen Kavos on the in-game websites, and then a quick trip to Los Santos Customs is going to clear up that confusion for you, but it's still odd. Unfortunately though, not all vehicles hit the mark. The Dinka Jester RR widebody, for example, is wildly overpriced at $2.3 million. It has no real customization options, and it feels like a missed opportunity. But on the bright side, 3 new police vehicles were added, including a patrol boat. But honestly, it's hard not to wish that they'd prioritize other more exciting cars, like the leaked C5 Corvette, which was leaked, or even the police Corvette Stingray as well. Nonetheless, at least we got something at the end of the day. When it comes to the rest of the leaks though, this is kind of the segment of the video I want to talk about. This video isn't really about the leaks itself, but definitely stay tuned to the channel as there's tons more to look forward to for the Christmas event and more drip feed into January. And we also have another springtime update, potentially likely in March again with another massive robbery mission, which is giving me similar vibes to the Cluck and Bell farm raid we saw last year. So all that and more later on here on this channel. But that's going to wrap up our look at the hidden features and secret changes that Rockstar didn't tell you about in the Agents of Sabotage DLC. If you read through the patch notes, you'll see tons more other adjustments, but these were some of the biggest ones I wanted to highlight. Some of these tweaks might seem small, but they can make a big difference in how you experience GTA Online, whether it's expanded vehicle options, unexpected quality of life improvements and adjustments, or just subtle gameplay enhancements. It's always interesting to see what Rockstar sneaks into these updates. So now I want to hear from you. Did any of these changes surprise you? Are there any other hidden features that you've discovered that I didn't cover that you think should have made this list? Hopefully you all enjoyed the video here today, and if you did, hopefully I earned your like on it. And of course, if you are new to my channel and you want to stay up to date with all the best GTA Online and Rockstar Games content, then please consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single thing we post here on the channel. We consistently talk about updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and even leaks, and I will keep you guys updated here on the channel daily. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you want to follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube, and you're more than welcome to ask me any questions on those platforms. You can follow me at Hazardous HDTV, and all of my social media links can be found in my description box down below. And again, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you all have a fantastic day, and hopefully you're enjoying the Agents of Sabotage DLC, and I will see you guys in the next GTA Online video. Adios, amigos.